Medical crisis creates unexpected bonds. Luna's redemption through Hayes's life-threatening diagnosis. The world of the bold and the beautiful is about to witness one of its most emotionally charged storylines as a devastating medical diagnosis forces unlikely allies together. Hayes Finnegan, the young son of Finn and Steffy, faces a life-threatening battle with blood cancer, creating circumstances that could fundamentally transform the bitter animosity between Steffy Forrester and Luna Nozawa. What begins as a medical crisis evolves into a powerful narrative of redemption, forgiveness, and the unbreakable bonds of family that transcend past grievances. The bitter foundation of conflict. The relationship between Steffy Forrester and Luna Nozawa has been defined by deep-seated mistrust and outright hostility. Steffy's hatred for Luna stems from a series of traumatic events that shattered any possibility of peaceful coexistence. Luna's obsession with Bill Spencer led her down a dark path of manipulation and violence, culminating in her kidnapping and caging Steffy in an abandoned building scheduled for demolition. During this terrifying ordeal, Luna confessed to murdering Tom and Hollis while maintaining her delusional pursuit of Bill Spencer and her desire to live on the Spencer estate. The psychological impact of Luna's actions created lasting trauma for Steffy, who witnessed firsthand the depth of Luna's instability and capacity for violence. Luna's willingness to frame her own mother for the murders she committed demonstrated a level of callousness that reinforced Steffy's conviction that Luna was irredeemably dangerous. This foundation of betrayal and violence has made Steffy's position clear. Luna represents an ongoing threat to her family's safety and well-being. Recent developments have only intensified this conflict, with Luna continuing to pursue inappropriate relationships and making increasingly concerning statements about eliminating perceived obstacles to her goals. Steffy's protective instincts regarding her family have been heightened by Luna's persistent presence and unpredictable behavior, creating an atmosphere of constant tension and vigilance. Hayes's devastating diagnosis. The trajectory of this bitter feud takes an unexpected turn when Hayes Finnegan, Steffy, and Finn's beloved son, receives a shocking medical diagnosis that threatens his young life. The discovery that Hayes has developed blood cancer creates an immediate medical emergency that overshadows all other concerns and conflicts within the family. The diagnosis represents every parent's worst nightmare, transforming Steffy and Finn's world as they grapple with the reality of their child's life-threatening condition. The medical team's assessment reveals that Hayes requires a bone marrow transplant to survive his aggressive form of blood cancer. This critical medical intervention becomes the focal point of desperate hope for his recovery, but it also introduces the complex challenge of finding a compatible donor. The urgency of Hayes's condition means that time is of the essence, and every day that passes without finding a suitable match increases the risks to his survival. The medical requirements for bone marrow compatibility are stringent, requiring specific genetic markers that create substantial challenges in finding appropriate donors. The search for a compatible donor typically begins with immediate family members, as they have the highest probability of genetic compatibility due to shared familial DNA characteristics. The desperate search for a donor. When medical testing reveals that neither Finn nor Steffy possesses bone marrow compatible with Hayes's specific genetic requirements, the family faces a devastating setback. This crushing blow eliminates what should have been the most likely sources of compatible bone marrow, forcing them to expand their search beyond the immediate nuclear family. The medical team's assessment confirms that both parents' bone marrow samples lack the necessary genetic markers required for successful transplantation. The failure to find compatibility within the immediate family creates an urgent medical crisis that demands immediate action. The medical team begins exploring extended family options while simultaneously initiating searches through national bone marrow registries. However, the specific genetic requirements for Hayes's condition make finding an unrelated compatible donor particularly challenging, and the timeline for such searches often extends beyond what his aggressive cancer progression allows. The emotional toll on Steffy and Finn becomes overwhelming as they confront their inability to directly save their son's life through their own biological contributions. This helplessness intensifies their desperation and opens them to considering options they might otherwise reject, creating circumstances that could potentially bridge even the deepest familial divisions. Luna's unexpected intervention. In a surprising turn of events that no one anticipates, Luna Nozawa steps forward to volunteer for bone marrow compatibility testing. This unprecedented gesture represents a dramatic departure from her previously self-serving behavior and introduces the possibility of redemption through sacrifice. Luna's decision to undergo testing demonstrates a level of family loyalty that has been notably absent from her previous actions. The medical testing reveals what everyone hopes for but few expect. Luna's bone marrow proves to be a perfect match for Hayes' specific genetic requirements. This remarkable compatibility creates an extraordinary situation where the person Steffy most despises becomes the only individual capable of saving her son's life. The irony of this situation is not lost on anyone involved, as Luna transforms from perceived threat to potential savior. Luna's willingness to proceed with the bone marrow donation process represents a profound shift in her character development. Despite knowing that Steffy views her with contempt and suspicion, Luna commits to undergoing the medical procedures necessary to harvest bone marrow for Hayes' transplant. This selfless act demonstrates a level of maturity and family devotion that contrasts sharply with her previous manipulative and destructive behavior. Steffy's emotional transformation. The reality of Luna's life-saving intervention creates an unprecedented emotional crisis for Steffy Forrester. Her deeply held hatred for Luna suddenly conflicts with overwhelming gratitude for the woman who is saving her son's life. This internal conflict forces Steffy to confront the complexity of human nature and the possibility that even someone who has caused tremendous harm can also demonstrate profound love and sacrifice. Steffy's journey through this emotional transformation involves reconciling her protective maternal instincts with her recognition of Luna's extraordinary gift. The magnitude of Luna's sacrifice cannot be minimized or dismissed, regardless of past transgressions. Saving Hayes' life through bone marrow donation requires Luna to undergo significant medical procedures and accept substantial physical discomfort and potential risks to her own health. This act of familial devotion compels Steffy to re-evaluate her absolute condemnation of Luna and consider the possibility of redemption through action. While Steffy cannot forget or fully forgive Luna's past crimes, she recognizes that denying Luna access to Hayes and Finn would be an unconscionable response to such selfless sacrifice. A new family dynamic. Steffy's decision to grant Luna access to Finn and Hayes represents a monumental shift in family dynamics. This unprecedented olive branch acknowledges Luna's role as Hayes' half-sister and recognizes her biological connection to the child whose life she saved. The decision reflects Steffy's growth as both a mother and a person, demonstrating her ability to prioritize her child's well-being and family bonds over personal grievances. The new arrangement allows Luna to develop a relationship with Hayes that acknowledges their genetic connection while respecting the boundaries necessary for family stability. This access also enables Luna to maintain contact with Finn, her half-brother, fostering a sibling relationship that has been complicated by their complex family history and Luna's previous destructive behavior. However, this newfound acceptance comes with implicit conditions and expectations. Steffy's willingness to allow Luna into their lives represents conditional trust based on Luna's demonstrated capacity for selflessness and family loyalty. The sustainability of this arrangement depends entirely on Luna's continued positive behavior and her ability to maintain appropriate boundaries within the family structure. The medical crisis surrounding Hayes Finnegan's blood cancer diagnosis creates circumstances that force fundamental changes in one of the Bold and the Beautiful's most contentious relationships. Luna's bone marrow donation transforms her from family pariah to reluctant family member, while Steffy's acceptance of this new reality demonstrates the profound power of maternal love and gratitude. This storyline illustrates how life-threatening circumstances can override even the deepest animosities when family survival is at stake, creating opportunities for redemption and healing that seemed impossible under normal circumstances. The future stability of these new family dynamics will depend on Luna's continued commitment to positive behavior and respect for the trust that Steffy has cautiously extended. Next, we will delve into the dramatic whirlwind surrounding Sheila Carter Sharp and Deacon Sharp as their relationship, affectionately dubbed Shaycon, teeters on the brink of collapse. A shocking revelation from Sheila has left Deacon reeling, threatening to shatter the fragile trust they built. As tensions rise, hidden secrets, dangerous alliances, and murderous intentions come to light, painting a complex picture of redemption, betrayal, and family ties in the world of the Bold and the Beautiful. Let's unpack this captivating saga with fresh details and deeper insights into the characters' motivations, relationships, and the perilous stakes at play. A fragile bond under fire. Sheila Carter Sharp, a woman with a notorious past, has been walking a tightrope in her quest for redemption. Her efforts to turn over a new leaf have been met with skepticism, especially from her husband Deacon Sharp, who cannot shake the memories of Sheila's dark history. Years ago, Sheila was implicated in the tragic deaths of two of Deacon's close friends, a wound that still festers in his heart. Despite their marriage, Deacon struggles to reconcile the woman he loves with the person responsible for such pain. Their bond, once a beacon of hope for Sheila's transformation, now faces an unprecedented test as new layers of deceit surface, threatening to unravel everything they've worked for. The question looms, can love truly conquer a past stained with blood? A secret haven for a troubled soul. In a twist that adds fuel to the fire, Sheila has been harboring a secret that could destroy her relationship with Deacon. Unbeknownst to him, she has taken in her granddaughter, Luna Nozawa, providing her with shelter in a small, dimly lit apartment above Il Giardino, Deacon's beloved restaurant. Luna, a young woman rejected by nearly everyone in her life, found herself cast out by her own mother, Poppy Nozawa, after a tumultuous fallout. Even Bill Spencer, who briefly offered Luna protection by securing her release from prison to house arrest, could not shield her from the harsh reality of abandonment. Desperate and alone, Luna turned to Sheila, who saw in her a chance for connection, a flicker of the family she's always yearned for but never truly had. The apartment, with its peeling wallpaper and creaky floors, became a hidden sanctuary, but it also symbolizes the precariousness of Sheila's choices. Will this act of compassion be her undoing? Luna's dark descent and Steffy's peril. Luna, however, is not the innocent victim she might appear to be. Beneath her vulnerable exterior lies a growing obsession with revenge, particularly against Steffy Forrester. Luna blames Steffy for blocking her attempts to forge a bond with her biological father, a relationship she craves more than anything. Steffy, unrelenting in her stance, mirrors her own disdain for Sheila, refusing to believe that people with such dark histories can ever truly change. Luna's resentment festers, transforming into a dangerous vendetta. She has already crossed unforgivable lines, and whispers of her involvement in past violence, including the tragic death of Tom Starr, a man who once saved Sheila's life, hang heavy in the air. Yet, Sheila, in a bewildering shift of loyalty, turns a blind eye to Luna's actions, perhaps seeing her granddaughter as a mirror of her own misunderstood youth. This moral contradiction adds a chilling depth to Sheila's character. Is she truly reformed, or is she simply rewriting her past through Luna? A tangled web of family and forgiveness. Sheila's decision to embrace Luna wasn't made lightly. Initially, she recoiled at the idea of supporting someone linked to the murders of Tom Starr and Paul Hollister, friends whose loss still haunts both her and Deacon. But everything changed when Luna revealed a shocking truth. She claims to be the love child of Poppy and Finn, Sheila's own son. This revelation struck a deep chord in Sheila, igniting a protective instinct she's rarely shown. Having been estranged from her own children, including Finn and several other sons and daughters scattered across her tumultuous life, Sheila sees Luna as a second chance at motherhood. It's a poignant, if flawed, attempt to rewrite her legacy, to guide Luna away from the destructive path Sheila once walked. Yet, dealing with Luna is like looking into a distorted mirror. Her stubbornness and defiance echo Sheila's own youthful recklessness, making their dynamic a volatile mix of empathy and frustration. Can Sheila succeed where she once failed, or is history doomed to repeat itself? A dangerous pact and an imminent threat. The stakes escalate as Luna's fixation on Steffy takes a deadly turn. In a chilling development, she attempts to enlist Sheila in a sinister plot to eliminate Steffy once and for all. Sheila finds herself at a crossroads, torn between her newfound loyalty to Luna and the moral compass she's been trying so hard to follow. The idea of Steffy being targeted at Il Giardino, a place meant to be a safe haven, sends shivers down Sheila's spine. She knows that involving Deacon is inevitable. His restaurant cannot become a crime scene, and the presence of armed guards or police patrols would tarnish its reputation beyond repair. But confessing her role in hiding Luna is a double-edged sword. Sheila risks not only Deacon's wrath but also becoming a prime suspect if any harm befalls Steffy. As she wrestles with this agonizing decision, little does she know that time is running out. Luna's thirst for vengeance is already in motion, placing Steffy in immediate danger. Deacon's fury and a relationship in crisis. When Sheila finally gathers the courage to reveal the truth to Deacon, the fallout is explosive. Deacon, a man who has stood by Sheila through thick and thin, feels blindsided by her secrecy. He listens, shell-shocked, as Sheila explains her actions, likening her support of Luna to the faith Deacon once showed in her. She argues that giving Luna a chance, believing in her potential for change, mirrors the way Deacon's love transformed her own life. But Deacon is too overwhelmed by anger and betrayal to hear her out. The danger that Luna poses to Steffy, to Sheila herself, and even to the fragile peace they've built, consumes his thoughts. He warns Sheila that Luna's unpredictable, chameleon-like nature could turn against her in an instant, just as easily as she's targeted others. While Deacon hasn't abandoned Sheila entirely, he demands space to process this bombshell, leaving her to wonder if their bond can weather yet another storm. Lies of omission, he reminds her, cut just as deep as intentional deceit. A glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. As Shay Khan hangs in the balance, there's a faint glimmer of hope on the horizon. Sheila clings to the belief that a cooling-off period might soften Deacon's heart, allowing him to see her intentions through a clearer lens. Their relationship has survived seemingly insurmountable odds before. Perhaps this, too, can be a chapter of growth rather than an ending. Meanwhile, the danger surrounding Steffy looms large, and the actions of both Sheila and Luna in the coming days will determine whether redemption or ruin awaits them. For now, the drama unfolds with bated breath, as viewers watch to see if love, trust, and forgiveness can triumph over a legacy of pain and betrayal. In this intricate tapestry of secrets and second chances, the bold and the beautiful continues to captivate with its exploration of flawed, fascinating characters. Stay tuned to B&B Spoilers channel for the latest updates as we follow every twist and turn of this gripping storyline. Will Shay Khan survive this latest crisis, or will Sheila's choices lead to an irreversible fracture? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.